But you should still have a strong team play and have all your strong mechanics there to win regardless with one ringer, especially a ringer that you've been playing with a long time. That's registered in your team for HoN Tour. But anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, there's a reason why you have more than 5 players on the team for situations like that. So, well, we are in this game. So let's go ahead and jump into this one now. Call It Karma taking on FYKU. Game number 2 here in this best of 3. Let's take a look. All right, so as you can see, the locking phase, in fact, already started here. We have the blind bands happening first. Monkey King Silhouette coming out here from Call It Karma on the Legion side. Ophelia and Parasite taken care of by FYKU over here on the Hellborn side. The locking phase starting, though. Succubus the first lock from the Jellyfish, but there's the Keeper Tempest. So again, FYKU in that sense kind of in control as far as how they want to do this locking stage. And so C1K, the smart thing would probably to be the lock, more heroes that you would expect to see, but we'll see which route they go.
Yeah, I mean, this is the more standard thing. Like Keeper, I can't tell you how many times I've seen Keeper and Tempest in the same lockpick pool, especially when we were at DreamHack. I mean, those two heroes are so popular, and they interact interestingly with each other. And it's safe to say, I want to say that the win rate, if you get both Keeper and Tempest on your team, has got to be up in the 80s to 90s. I mean,
yeah.
It's so high. The combination of ultis together are so strong. On top of that, too, Plague Rider plus one of those, as we saw. Plague Rider plus Keeper strong with the armor and the massive AoE. Same thing with Tempest and Plague last game that we saw.
Yeah. And there you go. That kind of answers the questions of how is C1K going to approach this game 2 now. Well, it is going to be Glacius Aluna as their follow-up lock. So I guess a shout-out deserved for Banana for the win. Apparently he had some nice Minotaur, some triple Minotaur stuns going on a TP that happened. So there you go. There's a shout-out. I'm not going to lie. I missed that, but apparently it happened, as Shizor confirmed. So
it was really cool. I'm kidding. I missed it.
Look at this cool guy over here. Oh, yeah, I saw it, of course. Devour, by the way, the final lock, actually. So interesting response there to finish things off. Yeah,
Shizor plays an awesome Devourer. I remember watching him from the last time we casted them, and it was really, really impressive.
Shizor is apparently already gloating about his success, as he says right there. So, yeah, we'll see, though, if he eventually picks it up going into the lockpicking stage. But now it's under the banning phase. Jeriziah, the first ban. Fade, the quick response. Back to Dark Lady here. And now 3 more in total to go, of course. So last game was fun, seeing the artillery, seeing the gunblade, but this time, you would like to believe that it is going to be more of a game that you expect to see as far as Heroes comes to, but we'll see.
I almost think that FYKU kind of forced them into picking seriously. Like, putting both Keeper and Tempest in there, it's like, okay,
of course.
It's going to be kind of a more serious game. Let's put some better heroes in this pool now, so Call It Karma is almost forced to play a little bit more standard, so to speak.
But yeah, again, that's the logic where if you do continue with the Trollish route, then more than likely you'll end up with 2 quote-unquote Trollish heroes, where the other team will at least get 1 solid hero. So, yeah, it's a case of might as well go with the safe option. Pebbles is going to be the first pick here by Call It Karma, and that's, of course, a strong first pick. Being left open on top of that. Now it's back over to FYKU. There is that Engineer Magnus combination on the board. Definitely standing out. You got Bubbles. Has Bubbles been... Bubbles I know was played out, I think, the first game, but he hasn't been played in a lot in this series, actually. Torturer is left open, so a lot of options here.
Yep, a lot of options. And Wild Souls actually is banned, and that's good to note. I think that hero is just ridiculous. Zephyr has been, I think, unbanned this entire time. And I want to say that neither team picked him up in any kind of stage.
True. So
that's one thing to note. Also, Demented Shaman has been open as well. It's open this time. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll see now how FYKU, of course, responds here, using a little bit of extra time already. They got some right clicks on Berserker, man. They didn't come through first the last game though, but again, they're down 1-0. I mean, this is it for them. So I don't blame them if they don't want to do the risk. Okay, it is going to be the Magnus Engineer. I'm not going to lie, I did call that, not to gloat or anything, but so we'll see now how Call It Karma responds. I figure a carry option here could be solid. Yeah. Who that carry option, though, is.
Man, this lane composition has been so popular. Like, it just caught on really quickly. And the first team to really do it, I want to say, safely, was TT Esports. And they ran it all the time.
I believe it was.
And if you remember that time when we casted, I'll never forget with them versus Pudge, where Pudge got the level 1 Kongor. And they killed Plague Rider in one freaking go with Magnus Engineer. Or no, it wasn't Plague Rider, it was Witch. It was Witch.
Yeah.
And now Witch is pretty susceptible, but still, like in one go, to stun Keg, and then he resurrects, and then do it all over again. Like, it was pretty cool. But Plague Rider Moon Queen, interesting. Moon Queen's been really popular as well.
Yeah, and well, especially when you look at the bans there. I mean, you got your Draconis, your Dark Lady, your Silhouette, your Wild Soul option. So yeah, it's kind of
no one likes Mage Bane anymore.
Mage Bane's open, but yeah, exactly. No one plays Mage Bane anymore for whatever the reason is. Still, we'll never know apparently, but. Moon Queen, yeah, no doubt been popular, but as we saw there earlier when we jumped into the Complexity Lion series, I mean, it's just ridiculous, especially in a more passive style game. If she makes it to the late game stage with some farm, it's hard to compete against her. It's absurd the amount of damage she does, not only in fights, but just the damage on the buildings, and good luck stopping it. So solid option there for Call of Karma. Over for FYKU, maybe trying to keep up the aggression here, already going the Magnus Engineer. We'll see. Yeah, Swiftblade? I mean, he was banned last game now.
Yeah, Swiftblade would be so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
But something tells me it might not get picked.
Apparently, all right.
Oh, yeah.
apparently Shizor will oblige. Pua wanted Swiftblade, and he will give him Swiftblade. So there you go.
Nice.
See some Swiftblade action.
I expected Tempest to be picked. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. Either Tempest, honestly, or Keeper is going to be fine. Keeper plus Plague is amazing. Tempest plus Plague, they worked it out last game. It was amazing, too. They do have the double deny effect, which is fantastic in the laning phase. And I feel like they're just a little bit more comfortable with their Tempest. And the Tempest player last game was fantastic. Everyone played really just totally sound. And this entire time we've casted them. Obviously, they're up 3 games to nothing so far.
Yeah. Man, I think just going something like Succubus Devour here would be awesome.
I think Keeper Glacius.
Keeper Glacius, though, are going to be the final 2 picks. And there's the Aluna final pick coming out from Call of Karma. So, yeah, both sides. I mean, actually, this is definitely one of the more sound games we've had of this series as far as just really solid lineups. Now, the curveball's a little bit that Swiftblade, sure, but as Slicks did show at DreamHack, and as actually I believe it was Shizor that gave a shout out to him after they picked up Swiftblade. Yeah, Banana for the win. No, it was actually Shizor. Yeah. Anyways, Slicks showed that it can be played, and now that was a specific build. That was the Helm of the Black Legion into Portal Key, I believe it was.
Yeah, Ghost Archers, Helm of the Black Legion, Portal Key, then Ruined Cleaver.
Yeah.
And then I forget what after that, but yeah, for the lanes that set up, I think FYKU has really solid lanes. Like, I expect Magnus Engineer to go mid, Glacius and Swift top, and the Suicide Keeper, and that's fantastic. Now for for Call of Karma, I'm expecting a dual lane mid with Aluna Pebbles, Suicide Plague Rider, Jungle Tempest, and then the Solo Short Moon Queen in the bottom lane. And it'll be interesting to see how Moon Queen fares up against a Hatchet Keeper of the Forest, because Hatchet Keeper of the Forest should be able to get every creep kill that he wants. Now, Moon Queen does have extra damage when he levels up that aura, but for the first level or so, I want to say that Keeper Forest is going to have a fine time. It's not like Moon Queen can really harass him out.
Yeah.
Now, you will have Tempest basically free farming in the jungle, and that's going to be fantastic for him, but I don't know. I think the lane setups are pretty damn good for FYKU.
Yeah, and you see right here, they actually were trying to protect the top side as far as the Ward of Sight going down, but the Jellyfish playing the Plague Rider, he's able to sneak in there and get the Ward of Sight down himself, so well played by the Plague Rider there, again being played by the Jellyfish, and he's going to fall back now and get his items. And now you also mentioned the double deny potential that's going to come out here from a Call of Karma, so very good for them, especially to start off the game. It looks like Tempest will go ahead and deny the middle lane for this Pebbles, and of course Plague Rider will take care of his own lane. So going to get things kicked off here. Yeah, Pebbles, Aluna, very likely going to head mid. Again, Deadfruit playing the Pebbles. There's a denied. It's going to be the melee creep right there. And now they're going to try to do some creep blocking at least, but going to have that deny advantage against, of course, the Engineer Magnus combination. But this middle lane, there should be some good action here in the middle lane.
Yeah.
Magnus versus Pebbles, Aluna. That should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to find a target for Pebbles Aluna. Like, it's going to have to really be Magnus, but then if you don't burst him down immediately, they're going to have turn potential.
Yeah. If
not turn potential, they're just going to be able to stun out and be fine. Now for Engineer Magnus, if they catch out Aluna, it's going to be a little bit more deadly, so that's why I kind of favor, I think, Magnus Engineer in this lane setup. That being said, it's going to be a little bit easier for Pebbles to get last hits, and he did go for a shield, so he's going to mitigate a lot of damage and harass coming his way.
Well, I was actually I noticed that as well, and I mean, so he chooses not to go Hatchet, though. Are you fine with that? And going the shield over the Hatchet option?
I think it's fine in this lane because he knows he knew that it was going to be a Magnus Engineer lane, and if you know that and you know there's a lot of harass coming out, then mitigate your damage. And obviously you cannot get CS if you're below half HP because you're going to get comboed down and killed. So I think it's a fine pickup.
We see actually look at what Pebbles is doing right here. He's pulling the creeper out to the side. I guess he tried to not get in tower range, but yeah.
Futile attempt.
Oops, that didn't work out too well. So he's going to try to get a couple creep kills here. Got a couple of them, but yeah, interesting situation. The top lane, though, Swiftplay, Glacius, you think, really go-to TMM lineups, or lanes at least. And Glacius, Swiftplay, talk about old school right there. That's a good one. Talk about bloodlust kill especially. So
yeah, it's the pub strat.
Yeah.
No, but the old school one I believe was like Swiftblade and Slither. That was really popular.
That's true. Yeah.
You get the massive slow on top of the spin, and also slow does dot damage. So, but obviously Slither has not seen competitive play for quite some time, and for good reason.
Yeah, he's been out of the scene for a while. But yeah, on that note, the top lane, we got Pewee on the Swiftblade again. He really wanted this hero apparently, and Shizor decided to go ahead and let him pick it up. 9-6 start here, doing fantastic at this top side, of course. Middle lane, though, we do have some action. Magnus in a lot of trouble. Will he get Bloodlust? Yes, he will. Deadfruit will pick up the Bloodlust kill. Unfortunately, it came to that like midway through, but that was, well, works out for Pebbles Illumina, obviously. I think it's safe to say maybe Mag was stunned initially, but they were able to turn it.
He took too much harass early on, and no toss was necessary. Like, if you're getting killed without the combo coming out from Pebbles, that's not good. That means you're taking too much harass. And Magnus without a shield, I mean, we talked about the shield being on Pebbles. Well, it's not on Magnus, and he's taken too much. He hasn't mitigated any damage as a result. And so Pebbles Illumina has the better time right now. And that Bloodlust, I feel like it's going to snowball. Because what we see a lot of times is if you get a Bloodlust and then you expended so much energy and resources in getting that, then you have to fall back and wait, and it gives the other team like time to come back. Well, no, that's not the case here. They got the Bloodlust. They're still right back in the lane with full mana, full HP.
Yeah, he has this bottle even. Yeah, he's in a very good spot. Now the kickstone will hit right here. Glacius also joining the party. Deadfruit's in a lot of trouble, and I believe he'll fall. No, it gets the stalagmites off, and then may actually get a turn kill, at least on Engineer. Not going to be enough, however. Kalbergs did all that he could to get a turn kill, but it just wasn't enough. But there you go, Glacius roaming from the top lane, helping to assist with the kill at least there in the middle against Pebbles. So, well played. I mean, again, he got the stalagmites off, barely enough for a turnaround, but just not enough, and worked out better. So at least they get the kill on him. So stop him from that snowballing, you could say.
Yeah, and Plague Rider up top is not exactly having the best time against Swiftblade, but he is in the suicide lane, and just really good job roam from coming out from Glacius. He is still only sitting at level 1, but that's what you have to do, especially when you had the Bloodlust kill happen in mid. But C1K is still off to a better start.
Oh yeah, Call of Karma definitely is looking good right now, especially when you got to factor in Moon Queen. Not doing too shabby down here. 14-9 currently start for her. I gotta say 15-7 Keeper of the Forest actually though. So you talked about this matchup. I mean, Keeper of the Forest seems like he should be able to get really any last hit he looks for, and obviously when you look at the numbers, he's off to a pretty good start here. But in the end, Tempest free farming in the jungle, that really has to be the big key here for Call of Karma. We've seen the middle lane. Nope, not some harassment. I thought maybe an initiation, but never mind. Tempest is falling back to base now currently, though. I believe he has a Ring of Sorcery that he's going to be picking up as soon as he gets back. Just not enough, actually. He still needs the pattern for the Talisman of the Exile, so just a little bit short right there.
Yeah. He bought a Word of Revelation.
Yeah.
Now, I've done this before, but against a Suicide Keeper, when you know it's a Suicide Keeper, I feel like you can man up quite easily if you buy a Dust or Rev Ward very early on, because you can put some harass on the Keeper. The problem is you can't sustain it. But if you put harass onto him, start spamming that beam or whatever happens to be in that lane against Keeper, and then you get a gank with Dust or something on top of that, Keeper just simply doesn't expect it because he's like, well, I'm this tanky guy. I can invis myself. You can't really kill me. So, yeah, I hope to see him gank relatively early.
Yeah. We do see right now he is heading over, but Keeper of the Forest obviously spotting him. They do have these Ward of Sights here. If he knows what's good for him, he should be fine. Of course, they do have the Rev, but again, he knows all this information. They spotted him with this Ward of Sights, and it looks like with the way he's playing, he's kind of invis off to the side. He picks up a Gloves of the Swift even, looking to finish those Steam Boots as soon as possible. Ward of Revelation is already down. Tempest is not level 6 either, so they're going to go for it. But yeah, Keeper of the Forest just a little bit too quick. Again, he knows really what's coming. And he is able to fall back in time. Helm of the Victim purchased right there by Moon Queen, so she is on her way to a Whispering Helm. But again, Moon Queen really isn't having like a great time. I mean, she's doing solid, but it's not that impressive here at the bottom lane. So not the greatest start, but again, can definitely recover. And then there's a whole Bloodlust situation with Pebbles. He was off to a great start there, but obviously since he got counter-killed, things have slowed down quite a bit for him, actually. So he's not necessarily rocketing himself. Yep. Where you have Swiftblade. How's Swiftblade doing? Swiftblade is the top farm of the game right now, 322 gold per minute and counting. So Pue, he's the one right now that's having a really good time.
And it does look like he's going to go for that Rune Cleaver build. And it's going to try to secure the late game for him. And they have, oh man, talk about team fight on this Hellborn team. I mean, you have it also on the Legion team with Tempest Plague. We saw that last game, and then you have the Lunar, or the ultimate from Moon Queen as well. Keep applying a lot of pressure with those early steam boots, actually. You don't really see that too often.
Oh, middle lane. Pebbles, they get the turnaround killing a Magnus right there. Pebbles barely dropping. Oh, the health potion at the last second right there from Aluna coming out. Will it be enough for the kill? Yes, it will. Glacius dives in. Now Aluna may be in a little bit of trouble. The kick's on missing, though. It hits Engineer himself, but Aluna will survive in the end. So Pebbles barely getting killed himself. Now, they did get the kill first, of course, on a Magnus, so that's some good news. But a good counter kill at least coming out for FYKU. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Keeper the Forest porting away right here. Did he root? Yeah, he did actually. I don't know if that was defensive or offensive, but he goes ahead and Homecoming Stones out before he gets killed. So,
yep. And here comes the push. Here comes the push from Tempest. He does have his Ring of Sorcery. His ultimate is up. Moon Queen has that Helm of the Victim. Going to go for probably that Helm of, or that Whispering Helm, sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, things are pretty standard here pretty, early on. Pebbles, as I've talked about, does need to get the priority for him. Sitting about 270 gold per minute. And, yeah, I mean, once he gets that, it's really going to open up the map for them.
Yeah, of course. Right now, only about 220 gold saved up, though, so still plenty of ways off of that bottom lane. Keep the Force against pressure. He wanted to spawn the trees and maybe try to deny it, but a good pressure right there from Moon Queen. And actually, Ame will get credit for the tower kill. So, yeah, Moon Queen recovering, not even really recovering, I guess, but more so just continuing to do fairly solid here in the early game stats. But yeah, Pue on Swiftblade. You mentioned the Rune Cleaver probably. Now he does pick up a Punch Dagger first. However, back to the middle lane. Pebbles once again getting got him right here. He tries to turn it around. Not going to be enough for the Power Throw coming out, though. And down goes Magnus. So again, a 1-for-1. Oh, the Tempest ultimate.
No.
I'm not sure what that was right there. Was that... That was one of those really delayed, like he thought it looked good, but then all of a sudden it wasn't. Still went for it. Oh boy, that was a big whiff. Nowhere nearby.
You know what it could have been, and maybe he's not saying this, but I do know of the AOE spell lag that you get.
Yeah,
and sometimes when it's not even when you cast it, like before, like right before you cast it, your screen freezes up.
Isn't that the first game though? I mean, they've obviously played
it's labeled AOE first AOE spell, but I think it just sometimes happens randomly when you cast a huge big spell like that.
Okay.
Like something like Pebble Stalagmites, it happens a lot. But the Tempest Hole and like Dark Lady, for instance, that ultimate as well. I'm just speculating, and maybe it was that, but
yeah. I mean, he is kind of acting like it was just simply a misclick, and the way he's even talking.
Yeah,
it's possible, but yeah, in the end, it was just a pretty poor ultimate right there, and get absolutely nothing out of it. Again, it really wasn't even that close to anyone. But now, what did happen in that fight? Again, it was a Pebbles for a Magnus there. Now, the top lane, Swiftblade spinning on top of Plague Rider will get the kill. Bitch slapped on top of that. We do see Aluna trying her best to fight them off, but not nearly enough. Bottom lane, Root coming out onto Moon Queen. Engineers here with the Invis on the Moon Finale, trying to turn this around. Actually, on Keeper the Force. Oh, the Invis at the last second will keep him alive, but Ami right there showing off the power of Moon Queen, especially in a solo situation like that. It can be pretty careful, or it can be pretty dangerous, I should say. Nearly got a turnaround kill, but she does not. However, she stays alive, and she'll continue to farm in the meantime. So that gank attempt completely from FYKU.
Yeah. Now, we see what Moon Queen does in the late game, too. If she's able to get that solid farm, of course, Swiftblade is winning right now in that department. But Swiftblade, not the strongest of carries. We have actually I almost said illusion, but that's an invisibility rune coming out trying to spot this this Swiftblade, and he does not have a spin right now. No vestments are up either. The combo is trying to happen, but he's kind of dosey-doing on those creeps right now. He's waiting until he gets a little bit lower. This is going to be an easy kill for Pebbles, and then some creeps on top of that. So,
yeah.
And then the Luna snipe. It was a little bit delayed, but it would have hit. So good coordination, good rune pick up there, control from Call It Karma, and that's a huge exchange for them.
Well,
really
yeah,
is.
again, Pebbles, right now, he has another 800 gold saved up. As you said, the Mystic Vestment pickup even. I mean, he is, after that kill, sitting at about 300 gold per minute right now. And so he is definitely on the way to the portal key. Tempest and Moonqueen on the pretty much the same point. Now, they're pushing the bottom lane. You need to be careful, though. Port coming in, who is that? Keeper of the Forest. Tundra Blast will connect, but Moonqueen will be fine. You see off to the side, Engineer was actually looking to run in as well, but not able to pull it all together. So they get back, and especially with the Whispering Helm on Moonqueen, I'm sure she can be pretty comfortable going to the jungle here and starting to farm it up a little bit. She activates her multi-strike right there. Had it deactivated initially, but activates it right here, and will look to farm with it. Now, again, she does have a Tempest teammate, so you obviously have to keep that in mind, but seems like they're spreading out the farm pretty well right now. Again, when you look at Tempest, Moonqueen, and Pebbles, and how they all seem to be doing pretty damn well. But Swiftblade does still remain at top. He did finish the Sustainer, so despite that death, he's still looking fairly good. 325 gold per minute. And as you stated, it looks like more of the... again, we never really see this hero, but you would, I think it's safe
typical.
to say, more of the typical, yeah.
Yeah.
Cleaver build.
Yeah, and the thing is about Swiftblade, and we never see him that much anymore, and I think it's because his late game potential is not exactly the strongest. It's okay, but you know, early game you're all relying on your spin. That's it. Your spin and your ulti. But late game you're relying on your auto attacks with the crit ability. Actually, oh, we had a poor man's portal key here. Let's take over, Breaky.
Yeah, but the stun right there just completely stopped Banana for the win from ulting.
That was funny.
Yeah, that looked like it was a right idea, obviously, as you call it, the poor man portal key, but that time it just didn't work out, and just a little bit better reaction coming out from FYKU right there. So that was kind of a funny exchange, but Tempest will fall back, and well, he'll just continue to farm in the meantime. So good attempt, right idea, but
I always thought if you're going to go for Rune Cleaver on Swiftblade, that the better route would be Steam Boots, because you would have more late game. You'd be attacking faster. It works better with your critting ability, and you're just able to farm faster, I feel like, because you're attacking faster.
But
you're
Ghost
cleaving
Marchers,
more.
man.
I mean, Ghost
Chase
Marchers,
people.
it's awesome to be able to go in between creeps while you're spinning and whatnot, but if you're going to go for Ghost Marchers, I would go for more of a battle build, like something like Energizer into Shroud. I know Shroud seems kind of silly, but even something like...
Energizer seems silly.
No way. Energizer's perfect on him.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect scaling of item on him. But like, or what like Slicks did. I don't really know if Helm of the Black Legion... Well, actually it worked out quite well, but even something like a Blink, something like a Portal Key, just to be more aggressive. So, yeah.
Yeah, good point. But he does go the Ghost Marchers, and again, what looks like to be a Rune Cleaver in the works, obviously with the Sustainer purchase. But back to the middle lane again. There's been a lot of action here, but Magnus and Pebbles both going back and forth. Now, Magnus's farm, I mean, it actually has been struggling. He is 0-3-3 currently. He's only around 208 gold per minute, and this is a farming Magnus here. So normally it wouldn't be that bad, but the fact that he's been a farming Magnus, which honestly, it is what we see nowadays in the competitive scene now that I think about it. I mean, more so, a lot more so, he's the farming role rather than a support role for good reason. But he's got Steam Boots finished. He has a bottle, but only about 150 gold saved up. So yeah, nowhere close to an early on portal key here. Where on that note, look at Pebbles. He isn't either. So neither one of them is. Where is all that farm going for Pebbles? I guess okay, he does have Steam Boots, bottle, power supply, and Mystic Vestment. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, he's bought a lot of build-up items.
He definitely has. In fact, roaming right here, going to run into Engineer Stalagmites. Will miss, though! Not the greatest placement right there. Out comes a freeze from Glacius to the side. But now Pinky Curdy, he's in a lot of trouble, and actually, there's the Chuck from Deadfruit. Keeping the forces here. Yes, where he is going to root. Will this pay off, though? Magnus chilling up that eruption, and on the downside right there, he stuns in. Down goes a little. The Swift Slash just come out. That's a level 11 Swift play. That plug is going to start bouncing around, do a little bit of damage here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. But the Moon Finale coming in now, and Moon Queen wants some kills, but the Invis coming out. Magnus will be fine. Keeper the Force. It looks like he's going to survive. How is everyone still alive? Finally, the Moon being going to be used, and down goes Keeper of the Force. So that ended up okay for Call It Karma, but that started out very well for FYKU.
Yeah, I mean, Swiftblade doing massive amounts of damage and trying to rectify that problem, but not able to really do so right now. So Call It Karma, or sorry, FYKU actually takes the lead in hero kills for 7-6, but it does look like Call It Karma is still ahead as far as the numbers go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swiftblade, he really needs his Rune Cleaver at this point to really maximize his farm. He is the top farm in the game, but like I said, in the late stages of the game, he is not going to compete against Moon Queen. So he does have his Rune Cleaver now, so that's good for him.
Yeah, the Rune Cleaver coming to him right here, so he'll start using that as far as assisting with the farm, and he already is at 398, really 400 gold per minute here. Obviously, with the Rune Cleaver, you expect that to even jump up. Their Ancients are currently double stacked. Now, Kalbergs, he is going to Water Revelation here next to the Ancients, and in fact, Luna will go ahead and check to see if maybe anyone's doing anything over there, but realizes that they are not. But yeah, Swiftblade, he is looking very good. In fact, going to do his own stacking right here and a couple of creeps. Well, that is another advantage of having Ghost Marchers on Swiftblade, too, as you see right there. Yeah. You actually use them to go ahead and assist him in stacking another camp, which you probably wouldn't have been able to without Ghost Marchers. But anyways, going to clear these up, and again, his GPM will be that much more impressive. Now, meanwhile, back to the bottom side of Hasted Pebbles charging in. The Tree Dog's actually hitting him right there. That prevented him from using... Never mind, he doesn't even have a Portakit, you know what I'm saying. He has 1,500 gold saved up, though I guess I just kind of figured he did. But actually, after the side, Tempest is going to get caught up by Magnus. The quick stun coming out from Luna, however, no ultimate from Magnus, but there's a Tempest ultimate. What a combo from Pebbles right there. 3 heroes died just like that. Engineer, Magnus, and Calacious all fall. Double tap coming up for Dead Fruit. That worked out pretty damn well for Call It Karma.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now Pebbles is going to have a lot more farm and going to be a lot more effective with a portal key in the near future.
He hasn't. He's 2,600 gold even.
There you go. And so he'll have that to work with. And like I said, if you're winning, it's similar to like what we talked about a long time Mage Bane was popular. If you're winning early on in the exchanges, you're winning by a lot because Moon Queen just simply has the better late game against Swiftblade. Now Swiftblade does have the Rune Cleaver and can farm fast with that, but like I said, late stage of the game, we've seen Moon Queen with full items, and it's just a massive amount how much how much damage she can output, and then how fast she can take down the base.
Yeah, it gets pretty ridiculous. And as we saw a little bit right there, I mean, the team fight is also definitely here for the Legion side. Now, granted, both teams have very strong team fight when you really look at it, and that's obviously some good news for FYKU. But yeah, if it does eventually get to the late game, you do have to like Call It Karma maybe just a little bit more. But again, we're still out very early on with that said. It's only 17.5 minutes in, so. By all means, there's still plenty of time here for FYKU Curdy to kind of make a comeback and force that third and final game. But right now, it is in the advantage of Call It Karma. Pebbles, again, with that new portal key of his. He's level 11. Thought about jumping in right there, but I think Magnus also saw that. And he lava surged away before the jump even happened. Now look at these stacks going on in the jungle. This is something that Hellborn team is doing a very good job of. Pewee seems to be doing a lot of this himself even, but he is really enhancing his farm as a result, man. He's now at 422 gold per minute and counting. It is going up and up, but you do look at Moon Queen, and her farm is also starting to shoot up quite a bit, as she's actually going to have a Firebrand finished here. Well, she has a Blessed Orb, but I thought I saw her purchase a Quick Blade. So, well, I guess Firebrand's next, and then eventually the Geometer Spain. So that'll be huge for her, and will enhance her farm, of course. So
yeah. Absolutely.
428.
I do have to give an update. Complexity did take out the game, or did take out Lions in Game 3, which was a 75-minute game.
Wow.
And it was a comeback. Like, Complexity was certainly down, and they did come back from that victory. 75-minute game. It was pretty epic.
Jeez. Well, congratulations, Complexity. I know it's safe to say. I mean, that's obviously the shocks that they even got to the point. But hold that thought for a second. Actually, Swiftblade's going to get caught over here. He gets a spin off. The peanut. Oh, the root coming at the last second. And Swiftblade will barely survive. Is he really going to go mana mode here? He has no life. They are going to jump into the Swift Slash is jumping around. Well, the spin off damage. There's one kill. But he's quickly. No, the poor man's put again. The play good passing around. And Swiftblade goes down. Wasn't worth it. I'm not sure. Tempest is now falling back as he's being chased by a Lonely Glacius. Meanwhile, back here, Pebbles coming back in with the Regen actually activated. Will stay Plague for now. Looking to get a turnaround kill on a Keeper of the Forest. Going to Nature's Veil, though, and he'll be fine. So everyone else ends up getting away. But yeah, I can appreciate the man mode attempt. But it's actually not over just yet, though, as a Legion team, they're still chasing somewhat. But I guess Keeper of the Forest going to invis. Yeah, you said it, though. I think, yeah, definitely a little bit too greedy there from Pewee.
Yeah, absolutely too greedy. And, I mean, he had a good idea. Maybe I would try that in, like, a public game where, like, not really that much online, but yeah, that you are the one that needs to be farming. You are the one that needs to not be dying. And his gold per minute is great and all. 400 is kind of neck and neck with Moon Queen, but yeah, you simply cannot trade your life for who was that you traded it for?
Luna.
In a Luna. Yeah, that's just not worth it.
Yeah. Again, it's Now, RNG did play a role there. He probably, obviously what he was hoping for, especially with this level 4 crit, was that he would jump in, he would swift slashes, and it would like heavily crit Pebbles or something else, and it does splash with the Rune Claver. So, again, I get the idea. You can appreciate the man mode, but yeah, I think with what is on the line, you're down 1 game to nothing. You know, maybe just making the more safe decisions makes the most sense. But, and you said it, I mean, his farm isn't bad, but it's actually now less than Moon Queen, and that's the really scary thing. And Swiftblade is going to be jumped again right here. Is going to be enough for the actual kill. This pick up with the Tempest ultimate pulling him in. The auto attack's happening, but the freeze from Glacius. Tempest going to be turned, and Swiftblade will survive for now. He does not have his Swift Slashes, though. He's not going to be able to get out of this, or will he somehow? Oh my God, no, he's going to be cleaned up. And actually, Engineer maybe even helped him as he cleaned up the team. But there's that shock back in. The energy field going to be used. Will it matter? No, it will not. Give it the Force Root going to come in, but the damage is already done here from Call It Karma. They're now going to group up and push this tower. Man, it's starting to look pretty ugly here for FYKU as this game progresses on.
Yeah, Alme has been carrying like quite nicely this entire time we've casted him today, but really the entire team, has been playing well. Banana for the win. While the ultimate seemed kind of silly over the Swift that had the magic immunity because of the spin, it was a great idea. It's definitely kept him in place long enough and did enough damage from the auto attacks from Pebbles to ultimately take him down. And that would have been the juke of the century, by the way, if he got out of there, because he went inside the trees using his own hatchet. And then I believe that the keg stun actually created a hole for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would have been fantastic, but obviously didn't get away with that one.
Yeah, he tried, but it just wasn't enough. So, I mean, again, not to beat a dead horse by any means. Actually, Magnus is going to get jumped right here, but I guess Pebbles not enough for the combo of his Chuck, and Magnus will easily survive. But it kind of goes back to the Swiftblade, you know, making that initial choice to man mode back in that previous team fight. And now with that second death happening right after that, he is really slowing down. This is a guy, he was upwards of around 430 gold per minute or so. He was beating Moon Queen by quite a bit, but here you go 4 or 5 minutes later, and he's dropped down to 375. And comparing to that Moon Queen, she is now at 460, and it is just going up and up. She has her geometers being finished, another 2,000 gold saved up, and she will start taking over this game because on top of it all, she's also level 15. Although Swiftblade is as well, but again, it just seems to be a little bit more impactful on that Moon Queen. You got a Tempest, he's doing fantastic, of course. The whole team really on the leading side is definitely coming together here. It's actually Pebbles, you can't forget about him. I mean, he's at 378 gold per minute himself.
Yeah.
And he actually has 2,700 gold. In fact, there we go. Straight up Shrunken Head just purchased by him.
Fantastic. That's great for him. It's a great pickup against this entire team, really. I mean, the Swift Slashes are going to be good against that, but Swift isn't really doing that much damage right now. And he's going for the Frostburn, it looks like, which is, again, this is like the standard build if you want to talk about standard in the sense of how he was played before when he was very popular. But, you know, they just don't have enough late game. They have good team fight potential in the mid game, but as far as securing the late game, even though they're losing these team fights, that's when it's really scary.
Pebbles with another Rune the Invis. Oh, Eruption being channeled, but no, he doesn't get the combo off, actually. Eruption jumps in, and a Luna will fall. Big miss right there, but will it matter in the end? Plague only bounces once, so no kill coming out from that energy field will not get off from Engineer as he gets picked up before level 16. The Swift Slash is bouncing around, however, but just not nearly enough damage. He's going to start spinning, wants to get this going at Tempest. Tempest will fall, actually. Will this be enough? Root coming out. The Moon finale, though, the split up with it. Geometers Bay. Moon will get a standard ground. The auto attacks are just too much damage. Down goes Keeper. Down goes Swiftblade. Down goes Magnus. And a quad kill to finish things off for Alme right there. Playing that Moon Queen. So FYKU, they had their chances, but just too much damage, man.
I mean, that was fantastic. You have the geometers to get out of that ultimate from Tree. The ultimate was perfect because it was basically those 3 heroes around. And having that level 3 ultimate on Moon Queen, it did the perfect amount of balancing between all the heroes. And yeah, that was, it could have been a much better team fight, to be honest, if Pebbles had canceled that Magnus eruption. He was right there, barely got it, actually missed the stun, and wasn't able to use that stun for a different engagement, but, you know, Moon Queen, just too much damage, and I believe just bought her Shrunken Head in full as well. And, yeah, that was pretty brutal for FYKU.
Yeah, again, it seemed like FYKU may have had a chance there, but it wasn't to be. I mean, Moon Queen just getting that split up with the Geometer Spain and just the auto attacks, the glaives, the multi-strike. We talk about how much damage that can do on buildings, but hey, in those team fights, especially if they're kind of clumped up like that, I mean, it could definitely do quite a bit as well, as we saw, similar to something like a Cataclysmic Assault from Draconis, or even a split shot from Forsaken Archer, of course. So, yeah, a lot of damage coming up from her, and in fact, pull up the damage chart. Yeah, she's up there at 17%. The overall is actually Pebbles at 18%, but Of course, she is up there. Not too surprising. She already has another 1,500 gold saved up after just purchasing that Shrunken Head as well. So FYKU, I mean, this is it. They've lost 3 games in a row to Call It Karma. Kind of surprising already at that, but it's looking like this could be 4 games in a row for Call It Karma, and as a result, they would be the Gold Division champions. FYKU, though, going to try to hold it out a little bit longer here. See about making that epic comeback and forcing the 3rd and final game. But right now, it just seems like Call It Karma just has too many things going for them here. And we're only 25.5 minutes in now. A gank attempt here at the top side. Tundra Blast going to be used. Swift Blade charging, and armor is going to be applied. But look at the crits coming out. The Glacial Blast on top of that. Or, excuse me, the Downpour, Glacial Downpour on top of that. But in the meantime, in the middle lane, Engineer and Magnus getting picked off in favor of the Legion team. So 2-for-1 exchange. Call It Karma gets the better of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, Jellyfish, I will say that Plaguewire does a ton for his team. And he's pretty damn tanky. He almost has that barrier idol. He's going to have it up in about 1,000 gold, or 900 gold or so. And they still want to apply pressure to this mid lane. They say, hey, Magnus and Engineer are dead. Yeah. That's a lot of their team fight, especially with Magnus having that portal key and the eruption still up. And watch, actually the vote to concede is up from FYKU. The GGs are coming out. Is this going to actually go through? Yeah. The base is getting heavily demolished here by Moon Queen. And it looks it was like a fake GG. Because I still feel like there is some game left to be played, even though it does look kind of grim for FYKU. But it was a false alarm.
False alarm, false alarm. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It's, you know, maybe it's a couple of different circumstances, but this is the grand finals. It's game number 2. I mean, this is it. You might as well give it one last shot at the very least. I mean, I don't think this game is, you know, by any means like at the point of you just have to absolutely give up. But it's, of course, in the end, still looking very good for Call It Karma. So, if anything, I'm sure FYKU, they're just pretty, you know, they're pretty annoyed, if anything, at the whole situation. The fact that, like I said, all they needed was to win one best-of-3 series here today, and they would have been the Gold Division champions. But they lost the first series 2-0, and here they are in the second series, and they're down 1 game, and looking like they may get swept again. And as I said, as a result, Call It Karma would be your gold champion. So it's got to be frustrating, but looks like they are at least going to play it out for now and see what they can make happen. But the gold per minute chart definitely tells a lot. I mean, Moon Queen is now at 590 gold per minute. She has an Assassin Shroud now picked up, so well on her way to Genjiro here. And then you have Pebbles, man, 433 GPM himself. He just finished the Soul's Bulwark after the Shrunken Head. We are not even 28 minutes into this game right now, so just 2 very, very farmed heroes here on the Legion side, I should say. Then he has Swiftblade, who's doing everything he can. I mean, he has a Frostburn finish, 1,100 gold saved up. Just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, though. But, again, we'll play it on and see what happens until then. But
yeah, see, the problem with Swiftblade once you get to the late game is, and I don't want to say problem, it sounds weird when I'm saying the problem, but you have to buy a Shrunken Head. And it's just one of those heroes that you don't want to. Like, you really, like, I've played them, you just don't want to. You want to go mass items. Actually, Pewy does get a lot of damage out onto the Aluna, but it's just the Aluna. He actually cancels that port, or maybe it was Plague, but he is now getting pursued. He doesn't have an escape mechanism now. He's all in. He is going to fall for sure. They're actually pursuing this Glacius at the same time. The freeze comes out on Moon Queen, but he is very fast now, especially with his Shroud. One attack, 400 crit damage coming out of that Invis. And, well, they're going to press in the front lines now as they actually march in. They want more blood onto whoever's up here. It's the Keeper. He's in Invis for the time being, but they're just going to backdoor this tower.
Yeah, no buybacks for Swiftblade going to be coming out, so he's down for a minute here. Really, FYK, they have nothing they can do. I mean, with Swiftblade dead, there's absolutely no chance. Keeper of the Force is going to get caught out there, and he will eventually fall. So I think the time is going to be coming here. They're going to start pushing into the base. Again, the middle is already cleaned up. The Hellborn team, they're going to, at the very least, just may fight one last time here, but Swiftblade is still down for another 40 seconds. He ain't coming back anytime soon. Your tower's going to fall. Whenever we're going to start seeing that eruption being channeled by Shizor. I'm sure here in the very near future. There we go. Eruption's being channeled. He'll jump in right here. Energy Field can't even get off from Engineer. He just melts away. There's that Tempest counter coming out. Now he will be froze. Nope, never mind. He froze somebody else.
Oh, and then he tosses
and he dies himself. And Keeper of the Force jumps in. He will fall though too. And now I expect Concevo to actually go through. GG well played is being called, and it looks like Call It Karma. They will be your first Gold Cycle Division champions.
Yeah.
As a result, okay, it hasn't. Okay, there we go. People disconnected before. Some rage quits even coming out there. I wonder how appropriate that is. But again, it wouldn't surprise me. That's got to be frustrated if you're FYKU. But you lost 2 series in a row. You lost 4 games in a row to Call It Karma. I mean, Call it karma. They were just the better team here on Saturday.
They looked fantastic, and what a way to jump into the Diamond Series, like after all those victories. And they're gonna, I mean, they could see that. Well, they very well might see FYKU yet again in the Diamond cycle.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be fun for them. And that's a great confidence booster in general for the entire team. And they played fantastically. Their draft was great. They have great Tempest player. They have well, actually a really great Plague Rider player as well. And then Ame playing that carry role, doing fantastically in every game that he played. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. It was, and well, that's that does it for coverage today. I guess here we are with the Gold Division. It was kind of we weren't sure exactly what we're going to be able to cover depending on how that first series went. But as a result of Call It Karma taking the first series, and of course we decided to finish up with the second series from the Gold Division. And sure enough, Call It Karma sweeps it up as well. So back-to-back 2-0 series victories. And Call It Karma. Again, they're Gold Division champions. Now, in the end, both are moving on, as are... In fact, let me pull it up real quickly here. Who are going to be moving on from Gold as well? I know, obviously, it's the dual team, Do You Even Lift? I always chuckle when saying that name. But so Do You Even Lift was one team, and then Shit Happens was the fourth team, actually. So,
of course.
Is it there? So, those are the four teams that are going to be moving up from the Gold Division to Diamond. We'll see how they fare, of course. Up there with, well, the big boys, as you can say, of course, in that Diamond Division. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps things up, though, for today, Truff. I do know, I believe Beef Pot Pie, he is going to be covering another series himself. I want to say he should be covering the winner's bracket finals. No, he's not doing that right now. Anyways, I believe he's still going to be covering something else. But as you can see right there on the screen, even, how the Gold Division ultimately shaped up when it's all said and done. But,
yep.
Yeah, that is going to do it for our coverage today here, Trouf, but that doesn't mean we're going to be done for the weekend because we are going to be coming back tomorrow, of course, and we got a couple of grand finals that are going to be coming at you. We're going to kick it off. I want to say it's the European grand finals first. Let me double check on that real quickly. It's actually the U.S. grand finals. The U.S. grand finals from the Bronze Division, we are going to be covering at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, 1800 Central European time. So that should be some fun there. Seeing what bronze teams we have and the lower division teams. And then after that, of course, will be the Diamond Grand Finals. And that's where I know a lot of people are looking forward to see what happens there. We don't know which teams are going to exactly be there just yet, but it's going to be a great matchup no matter what, of course.
Yeah.
So can't wait for that one, Trouf.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And congratulations to all the teams that won their games today that we might not have been able to see or cast. And especially congratulations to Call It Karma for taking the first ever Gold Cycle Week 1.
Yeah, and again, that definitely has to mean something. I think that's pretty cool to always say, back in your mind, we were the first ever Cycle champions for the Gold Division. It's pretty damn cool. So I'm just trying to get a couple of updates right here as far as the bracket for at least the Diamond Division. Okay, so obviously TDM and Gary Johnson 2012, they're playing in the winners bracket finals right now. And then Complexity is playing Q Squad. So, man, talk about Q Squad. How it was looking like Q Squad could have even dropped to the Gold Division after this first cycle because how about it? They lost to they lost to Fortune Bakery in the first round, and then they nearly lost to Vitriolic in the losers bracket. They lost the first game, but they came back, and since then they've had a run. They defeat Vitriolic, One Trick Pony, Dendy's Jungle Devos, and then eventually Fortune Bakery again.
In a rematch.
Leading them to a matchup against Complexity. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, as well as the TDM vote series, of course. So.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of fun.
To see that. HoNtour.com, you can check that out all for yourself, all the brackets. They are live updated and whatnot after every single game, so you can kind of follow there if you are very interested. And, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for coverage today. Any final words from yourself, Trev?
I have nothing today.
Nothing today. That's it. All right. Well, hopefully something tomorrow. But no, again, tomorrow, guys, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European time. We have the U.S. Bronze Division Finals, the Grand Finals, that is. And then, of course, after that, the Diamond Grand Finals will be taking place. That's at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 21:30 Central European time. It's going to be a blast tomorrow. Until then, we'll see ya. I'm Breaking CBK. Joining me is Ralph Pomodoro. Shout out to Killer Warren. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Don't